Welcome to day 2 of the 60 Days Microservices Interview Mastery series. Today, we tackle a critical senior level question: how do you decide where one microservice should end and another should begin? In real world systems, poor boundaries create tight coupling, difficult deployments, and scaling problems. We'll use an e-commerce scenario to understand business capabilities, bounded contexts, data ownership, and independent deployment. Be ready for the interview question. Imagine you are designing a large e-commerce application with customer, order, payment, inventory, and shipping capabilities. The business wants independent teams, deployments, and scaling. Now comes the key challenge: where should we draw the microservice boundaries? Creating one service for every database table may look simple, but it can create too many services, network calls, tight coupling, and difficult transactions. Always design around meaningful business capabilities. Here's the interview question: how do you define microservice boundaries? A weak answer is to say that every database table becomes a service. A strong senior level answer starts with business capabilities and bounded contexts. Then we evaluate responsibilities, data ownership, coupling, transaction boundaries, team ownership, scalability, and independent deployment. The goal is cohesive services that can evolve without unnecessary dependencies. That is the real design challenge.
A common mistake is creating a microservice for every database table. This can produce too many tiny services and excessive network communication. A simple business operation may require several remote calls and distributed transactions. The result is higher latency, operational complexity, and tight coupling. Microservices should represent meaningful business capabilities, not database tables. The right question is, which business responsibilities should evolve independently? Domain-driven design gives us a better way to define microservice boundaries. Instead of starting with database tables, identify business domains and bounded contexts. A bounded context defines where a specific business model and terminology have clear meaning. In an e-commerce system, order, payment, inventory, and shipping can represent different business capabilities. This creates cohesive services, clearer ownership, lower coupling, and better independent evolution. Now let's define 5 rules for strong microservice boundaries. First, start with a clear business capability and ask what function the service provides. Second, keep related responsibilities together for high cohesion. Third, minimize dependencies for low coupling. Fourth, establish clear data ownership. Fifth, make independent deployment possible. If splitting a service creates excessive dependencies or distributed transactions, reconsider the boundary. Consider this e-commerce example. Order, payment, inventory, and shipping can represent separate business capabilities. Each service owns its business rules and data, and can evolve and scale independently. The exact boundaries depend on the business domain, team ownership, transaction requirements, and expected change. There is no universal service size. The goal is to create cohesive services with clear responsibilities and minimal coupling between them. Data ownership is critical when defining microservice boundaries. Each service should own the data required for its business capability, and other services should not directly modify its database. They should communicate through APIs or events. For example, the order service can publish an order-created event, while the inventory service reacts to it. This reduces coupling, supports independent deployment, and allows services to evolve without depending on another service's database. My senior level interview answer is, I would not start with database tables or technical components. I would first understand business capabilities and identify bounded contexts. Then I would define responsibility and data ownership, minimize coupling, evaluate transaction boundaries, consider team ownership and scalability, and check whether each service can evolve and deploy independently. Good boundaries should support the business and remain flexible as the system grows. Let's summarize day 2. Good microservice boundaries start with business capabilities and bounded contexts, not database tables. Look for high cohesion, low coupling, clear data ownership, manageable transaction boundaries, team ownership, and independent deployment. There is no universal service size. The right boundary keeps responsibilities clear and allows services to evolve independently. In day 3, we will tackle the shared database problem and why it creates hidden coupling.